My name's Lisa. I'm a 35-year-old office worker. Just recently, my boyfriend, Andrew, who had been assigned overseas for quite some time, finally returned to Japan. During our long-distance relationship for around 10 years, we faced several threats of breakups, but each time we managed to pull through by talking things out. My dream of getting married in my 20s didn't come true, but as long as I have him, age doesn't matter. I was satisfied.
So, we have to go to meet and greet to both our parents soon. Whose house should we visit first, yours or mine?
I was at a loss for words because he asked it during our date. Well, let's see. As I hesitated, he gave me a suspicious look.
Hey, you aren't about to say we aren't getting married after all, are you? I finally came back to Japan, you know.
No, it's not that, Andrew. I'm happy that you came back, but I added that word because there was a picture of his mother surfacing in my mind. The thought of marrying with him and having his mother in my life painted a dark cloud over our impending marriage. The first time I met with his mother was 10 years ago, when I was 25 years old. I happened to run into her while on a date with him. He was my coworker at the time. Andrew, what are you doing here? Oh, it's a date. Nice to meet you. I'm Deborah, Andrew's mother. Deborah was 47 years old then. I was taken aback when I saw her for the first time. She was surprisingly youthful and stunning, nothing like a typical woman in her mid-40s. Nice to meet you. I'm Lisa. I'm dating Andrew. As I nervously bowed my head, she scrutinized me from top to bottom. Her gaze clearly measured up the woman in front of her. My intuition was spot on, because when he went to the restroom, she bluntly stated, "I knew Andrew had a girlfriend, but I thought you would be prettier." I didn't know he wasn't a sucker for looks. She sneered with malice as she spoke. "Not just your face, but your body too. Well, if I say it nicely, you're voluptuous. But to be harsh, you're Oh, oops, my bad. I shouldn't say such things." As if she felt any remorse. Well, yeah, I'm a bit on the curvy side. But what kind of first impression is that? He returned from the restroom when I was about to retort. "Oh, welcome back. I was just chatting with Lisa. We've become quite close, haven't we, Lisa?" As soon as he returned, she quickly put on a good mother's facade and smiled at me. Wow, what a drastic change. I was flabbergasted. After parting with her at the cafe, I asked him, "What kind of person is your mother? She's really beautiful."
"Yeah, she was a local beauty in her younger days, and even won some beauty pageants. That's why she's still pretty focused on her appearance, and doesn't look too bad for her age, right?"
Indeed, she might not look bad. She seemed about 15 years younger than her age. But inside, she was the worst. Yet I couldn't say that to him because he seemed a bit proud of his beautiful mother. But if I were to marry him, she would become my mother-in-law. To be honest, a feeling of unease crossed my mind then. 10 years have passed since then. Soon after that, he was given an overseas assignment. He headed to New York, so of course the wedding was put on hold. I hadn't seen her for a long time either. Yet.
"Do you still feel uneasy about marrying me?"
He asked me while I was lost in thought.
"That's right. With a guy like me, even your dad, even Mr. CEO would feel uneasy."
Whoops, that's bad. I got caught up in the unpleasant memories of the past. It seems I've given him the wrong impression. It's nothing, really. I just had a case of pre-wedding jitters. I'll definitely marry you. So don't you worry, I said to him, trying to be as cheerful as possible. It doesn't matter who my mother-in-law will be. I'm not marrying her. And it's been 10 years. She must have mellowed out a bit. I convinced myself of it, but it was just a fleeting hope. The following weekend, I was heading to his house. Not for a wedding greeting, just to pick up something he had forgotten. Speaking of him, he forgot the movie tickets at home, even though we had a movie date. Thanks to that, we didn't have time for a leisurely lunch, but that's fine. Let's eat hot dogs and popcorn while watching the movie.
"Ah, it looks like we'll make it just in time. Wait here, I'll be back in a minute."
He said this to me and rushed upstairs as soon as we arrived at his house.
What's a noise? Is that you, Andrew?
Oh, you. Hearing his voice, Deborah came to the front door. Yes, hello. As I bowed my head slightly, she suddenly burst into laughter. Oh my, you're that girl from 10 years ago, the chubby piggy. Chubby piggy? Was she talking about me? Oh my, you're still together? Andrew has a peculiar taste, huh? I never thought he'd still be with the same woman. He should have upgraded to a younger woman. I was dumbfounded by her words, which she uttered with a faint smile on her face. What? Well, it's true, isn't it? Andrew's an elite, just back from New York. He must have tons of women chasing after him. You seem to have lost a bit of weight over the last decade, but on the other hand, the aging, right? You were in your 20s 10 years ago, so now you're in your 30s. Oh dear, you're turning into an old maid. I thought to myself, if I had aged over the last decade, surely she would have too. But her appearance hadn't changed one bit from 10 years ago. She was more of a witch than a beauty. Hey, it's Lisa, right? If you have any common sense, it wouldn't hurt to step back. You should really consider whether you're suitable for him or not. Seriously. Just then he came rushing down the stairs.
Sorry for making you wait. Took a while to find the tickets. Let's go, huh? What's up, Mom?
She responded with an innocent expression. Nothing, darling. You guys should hurry or you'll miss the movie.
Oh, right. Come on, Lisa, let's go.
Andrew grabbed my arm and led me out of the house. I couldn't say anything to her, nor could I say anything to him. I wondered how he would feel if he knew what his mother had said. I didn't want to upset him, but I knew something needed to change. I wouldn't be able to find happiness in marriage if his mother remained this way. But what should I do? I didn't know that. Time passed and Andrew came to my house to seek my parents' consent for our marriage. Of course, they said yes. My father seemed to prefer that I marry a man of his choosing, but he respected my decision. He asked us for one favor, but whether or not we fulfilled it was up to us.
Well, at least we've got your family's approval. Next is my family next weekend.
He relieved anxiety, stretched, and said that as soon as we left my house. Yeah, if I go to his house, Deborah will be there. I have to get her consent to marry. Will I be okay? Seeing my unease, he said,
It'll be okay. I'm with you.
Those words somewhat eased my anxiety. Then the following weekend arrived. I was so nervous.
What's up, Lisa? You look tense.
Seeing me take deep breaths, Andrew laughed.
I get it. I was super nervous when I had to go meet your family. Plus, I was meeting your dad, the big boss. But it'll be fine. My parents are both pretty laid back. You've met my mom before, right? You know what I mean.
Yes, I've met her, and that's precisely why I'm nervous. I screamed inside my head.
Hey, welcome. You must be Lisa. Nice to meet you. I'm Andrew's father.
Upon entering the house, his father kindly welcomed me. Well, hello there. Deborah emerged from behind him. I was taken aback by seeing her. Her makeup was intense. It was so heavy it looked as if she were about to head to a party. The area around her eyes was shimmering with glitter-infused eyeshadow. Her clothes, while not a party dress, seemed fitting for a trip to the theater. I realized this wasn't merely to welcome me, but a display of dominance, a kind of female one-upmanship. I quietly reassessed my own outfit. My clothes were fine. No runs in my stockings, and my accessories were not overly flashy. My blouse was freshly cleaned without a wrinkle. My hair was neatly done, and I had just reapplied my lipstick in the restroom at the station. And that's when she made a comment as she passed by me. You've got lipstick on your teeth. I quickly covered my mouth in a panic. But when I stealthily checked in the mirror, when no one was looking, there was no lipstick on my teeth. She had lied, just to enjoy my flustered reaction. I put my compact back in my bag and stared at my phone for a while. I knew that today's introduction would likely determine my fate. I thought so. Deborah, carrying a tray with tea, entered the living room with Andrew's father.
Dad, Mom, I'd like to introduce you to Lisa, the woman I want to marry. Though, Mom, you've met her before.
He started the conversation, and I bowed my head. My name is Lisa. I know I have much to learn, but I hope for your kind understanding. His father chuckled.
Well, no need to be so formal. If Andrew has chosen you, it's not our place to say otherwise. Our boy is far from perfect, so he might cause you some trouble. But we hope for your understanding. Right, Deborah?
Caught off guard by the sudden shift in conversation, she hastily laughed. Yes. Nice to meet you, Lisa. Afterwards, we had a pleasant conversation over tea. I let out a sigh of relief. I thought that she might oppose the marriage, but it seemed that the introductions would conclude smoothly. Oh dear, look at the time, she remarked after a while, glancing at the clock on the wall. I'm sorry. I've been so flustered today that I haven't had time to prepare dinner. I'll order some sushi, so just wait a bit. Andrew, can you go to the sushi place with your dad and place an order for delivery?
What? Why do we need to go there? Can't we just call in the order?
Typically, when we order delivery, we just do it by phone call. But the sushi place we usually order from picks up the phone. It's faster if you just go there. Plus, I'd like you to pick up some beer and wine and some snacks from the grocery store. She practically forced Andrew and his father to rise from the couch. Come on. If we don't hurry, it'll get late. You two men go shopping together, okay? Pressured by her insistence, Andrew and his father left the house. Why she insisted on them going together became clear soon enough. As soon as they left, she let her kind mother facade drop. Oh, we've come to this, have we? Such a shameless woman. She crossed her legs on the couch with a thud. I've been telling you, a woman like you is not worthy of Andrew. You can't even withdraw yourself. You know, he could have a more beautiful, younger woman, and yet a woman like you who is still in the dark, trying to grab him and showing up for a marriage proposal. I listened. What exactly about me displeases you? Everything. Even though you're not beautiful, the idea itself of you trying to snatch Andrew from me is unbearable. I retaliated, but he likes the way I look. I don't think I'm a world-class beauty, but she scoffed at me. Say, if he got a child, it would be my grandchild. I can't bear the thought of my grandchild not being adorable. I've produced a handsome son, but if his spouse is plain, the genes get diluted. Then she moved her face so close to me, even I could feel her breath. Understand, even if you marry Andrew, I will never accept you as a daughter-in-law. I will find a way to separate you two, even after you're married. And then I'll find a younger and just as beautiful woman for him. Well, finding someone as beautiful as me might be difficult, though. I clenched my bag, which was placed next to me. Would you be satisfied if I left this place, ma'am? That's right. If you could just disappear forever, that would be great. Understood, I responded. I'll do as you wish, ma'am. That's right. That's what you should do. Just so you know, telling him or my husband about this won't do you any good. I'm always the virtuous wife and kind mother. No one will believe you. And then she stood up from the couch, looking down on me. Don't show me that ugly face ever again. It's a sight for sore eyes. Just then I heard the front door open. We're back. Suddenly she burst into tears. Wait. While I was in disarray, she appealed to the two men who just entered the living room. It's terrible. While you two were away, Lisa slandered me horribly. I don't think I can get along with her. What? I was dumbfounded. When did I slander her so horribly? Lisa said that she doesn't want to take care of us when we're old, that it would be better if we just went to heaven sooner, and that she'll mistreat us if we become senile. Oh, I can't say any more. You're scary. With that, she clung to my future father-in-law.
How could you say that, Lisa?
He said to me with a furrowed brow.
You seemed like a decent woman, but I didn't expect you to say such rough things.
No, you're wrong. I didn't say anything like that. In fact, I'm the one who was verbally abused. I tried to argue back, but she screamed through her tears. Liar! Do you think I'm that rude? Then show me the evidence.
That's right. I can't believe my wife would lie.
He seemed to side with her. Andrew tried to say something, but I held him back. If it's evidence you want, there's no proof that I verbally abused your wife, right?
Yes, that's true.
My cool rebuttal seemed to pressure him. If neither of us have any proof, it'll be nothing more than a he said, she said argument. However, unfortunately for you, I have evidence. What? Deborah stopped her fake tears and shouted in surprise. She must have never dreamt that I had proof. Since I came down here, I've been recording with my phone's recorder. I thought something like this might happen, because it's happened several times before, so I'm glad I was cautious.
Several times?
He seemed surprised by my words. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. I took my phone out of my bag and pressed the playback button on the voice recorder.
You're such a shameless woman. I will never accept you as my daughter-in-law. Disappear forever. Don't ever show me that filthy face again.
Her ugly rant echoed in the living room.
Stop it!
She lunged at me, but Andrew held her back.
Mom, stop it.
Andrew, this must be some kind of mistake. She is trying to frame me.
Mom, just stop.
Tears welled up in his eyes. He must have felt pitiful, knowing that his own mother was such a terrible person. I feel sorry for him, but there's no going back. Ever since I met her 10 years ago, I've been subjected to harsh verbal abuse. That's because she is beautiful and I'm just average in appearance. But no matter how beautiful the face, I don't want to think of a person with an ugly heart as my mother-in-law. So I won't marry Andrew. And as you wish, I won't visit ever again.
Well, wait, Lisa, I'm sorry for my wife. Let's talk again.
His father begged in a panic, but Andrew said,
It's over, Dad. Not just Lisa. I don't want to recognize this woman as my mother anymore. You probably don't want to live as a family with Mom anymore. So, as Lisa's father requested, I'll become a son-in-law in Lisa's family.
What? Deborah screamed.
Her father is the CEO of the company I'm working for. So, while she's my co-worker, she's also the boss's daughter. When I went to her house for a visit recently, her father asked me to marry into their family as an heir to his company. I was undecided, but I've just made up my mind. I'll take her last name and live as a part of their family.
But Andrew, what about this house?
Mom, you think I'm capable of taking over this house? You really think so?
Andrew was crying. His father, who was standing next to him, patted him on the shoulder and said,
Well, if that's what you have decided, then I won't say a word. I'm sorry for making you make such a heartbreaking decision. I'll make sure Deborah doesn't cause any more trouble.
I interrupted. Yes, I'd like to say I appreciate it, but...
Huh?
The father looked up puzzled. It seemed he had only heard part of the earlier recording. Andrew heard it clearly and was devastated. It would be cruel to make Andrew listen again, but the truth must be revealed. I steeled myself and said, I think you're going to be very busy from now on, sir. You're probably going to need things like a DNA test, among other things. Then I hit the playback button on my phone again. No, stop! Don't listen! Realizing what was about to be replayed, she desperately tried to stop me, but it was too late. I managed to give birth to a handsome boy using a handsome man's seed, but if his partner had a plain face, the DNA would be diluted. As soon as he heard her voice coming from my phone, his face turned livid.
What? You?
I don't even want to remember the chaos that ensued. The father lunged at Deborah. Andrew and I desperately tried to stop him, and she was crying and screaming. The commotion was so great that the neighbors called the police. A few months later, Andrew and I got married. As he had declared, he married into my family and, at the same time, cut off all ties with his mother. However, he did not cut ties with his father. Although the father-son relationship was denied by a DNA test, They still had a bond from living together as father and son for over 30 years. If we have a child in the future, we plan to show the child to him. It seems that his father and Deborah will be getting a divorce. She was sent back to her parents' house, but apparently she was treated so poorly there that she was kicked out, and now no one knows where she is. Well, knowing her, she'll probably keep bad-mouthing people wherever she goes and make herself unpopular. Deborah, who was able to maintain her beauty while living a luxurious life, now faces a tough future. I suspect her beauty will fade with the hardships, and she'll just become a witch. At least, that's what I think.